In the heart of the Appalachian Mountains stood a quaint little town named Whispering Pines. Its beauty was unmatched, with lush greenery and a serene ambience that drew people seeking solace from the chaos of city life. But beneath its picturesque facade lay secrets, buried deep within the woods that surrounded the town. It was on a cool autumn evening that the Smith family arrived in Whispering Pines. Tom, a renowned architect, had been commissioned to restore an old mansion on the outskirts of town. With him were his wife, Sarah, and their two children, Emily and Jacob. As they drove through the winding roads leading to their new home, Emily couldn't shake off the feeling of unease that settled in the pit of her stomach. The dense forest seemed to swallow them whole, and the shadows danced eerily in the fading light. "I don't like it here," Emily whispered to her brother, who sat beside her, peering out the window with wide eyes. Jacob nodded in agreement, his gaze fixed on the towering trees that loomed ominously overhead. "It feels like we're being watched," he murmured, his voice barely audible over the rustling leaves. Their parents, lost in conversation about the upcoming renovation project, paid no heed to their children's apprehensions. Little did they know, Whispering Pines held secrets that would soon unravel their peaceful existence. As days turned into weeks, the Smith family settled into their new home. Tom spent long hours at the mansion, overseeing the restoration work, while Sarah took charge of unpacking and decorating their cozy abode. But no matter how hard they tried to ignore it, strange occurrences began to plague their lives. It started with subtle whispers echoing through the halls of their house, too faint to decipher yet too persistent to ignore. Sarah dismissed them as figments of her imagination, chalking it up to the stress of moving to a new town. But Emily and Jacob knew better. They had heard the whispers too, felt the icy fingers of fear grip their hearts in the dead of night. One evening, as the family gathered for dinner, a loud crash echoed from the attic, followed by the sound of shattering glass. Tom rushed upstairs, his heart pounding in his chest, only to find the attic empty save for a broken window and a trail of blood leading into the darkness of the forest. What could have caused this? Sarah gasped, her hands trembling as she clutched onto her children. But deep down, they all knew the answer. Whispering Pines held secrets, secrets that refused to stay buried. Determined to uncover the truth behind the strange occurrences, Tom delved into the history of Whispering Pines. What he discovered sent shivers down his spine. Decades ago, the town had been home to a cult known as the Followers of the Shadow. Led by a charismatic leader named Ezekiel Blackwood, they worshipped ancient deities and practiced dark rituals in the depths of the forest. Legend had it that the cult had been vanquished by the townsfolk, their leader imprisoned within the mansion that now stood as a reminder of their dark past. But as Tom dug deeper, he realized that the truth was far more sinister than he could have imagined. Ezekiel Blackwood had made a pact with the spirits of the forest, offering them sacrifices in exchange for immortality. And now, with the arrival of the Smith family, the spirits hungered for more. Armed with this newfound knowledge, Tom knew that they had to leave Whispering Pines before it was too late, but the spirits had other plans. That night, as the family slept soundly in their beds, a thick fog enveloped the town, shrouding it in darkness. Sarah awoke to find herself standing in the forest, a voice beckoning her deeper into the shadows. "Sarah," it whispered, its words echoing in her mind like a haunting melody. "Join us. Join the shadows." Terrified yet strangely compelled, Sarah followed the voice, unaware of the danger that lurked within the depths of the forest. Meanwhile, Tom, Emily, and Jacob searched frantically for their missing mother, their screams lost in the eerie silence of the night. But as they ventured deeper into the forest, they realized that they were not alone. Figures emerged from the darkness, their eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. Among them stood Ezekiel Blackwood, his presence sending shivers down their spines. "You cannot escape your fate," he intoned, his voice carrying the weight of centuries. "The shadows demand sacrifice, and you shall provide it." But Tom refused to surrender to the darkness. With a newfound determination, he confronted Ezekiel, wielding the ancient dagger that had once sealed the cult's fate. In a desperate bid to save his family, Tom plunged the dagger into Ezekiel's chest, unleashing a wave of energy that engulfed the forest in flames. As the flames consumed everything in their path, Tom, Emily, and Jacob raced to safety, their hearts heavy with the knowledge of what had transpired in Whispering Pines.